So, guys, the purpose of this is obviously talking about your campaigns and about digital marketing and online lead gen, but I also want to open it up a little bit more. I want to be a resource for anything I can help you with in your real estate business. So that can be follow up, that can be best practices, it can be building your business, anything that you really want help with. Obviously, this is focused around online leads, but there's a lot of other things that come into play, right? Obviously, converting, follow up, building your business. So I'm happy to address any of those questions as well. So John's asking, what do you find is the best approach to do follow-ups? The phone. So I've mentioned this before, as much technology as I can teach you and as you incorporate in your business, in my opinion, the single most effective tool is still the phone, because the phone is how you create that rapport. It's how you build that relationship, and it's ultimately how you book an appointment. So think of it like a conveyor belt. The first step is your ads and social media or Google, YouTube, Facebook, whatever it is to capture someone's attention. Once you capture their attention, then you capture their information. Once you capture their information and they fill out their name, phone number, and email address, the first thing to do is jump on the phone and call them. And even if you don't get them the first time, that's okay. You just want to keep trying. You want to switch it up. If you're trying in the mornings and they're not answering even 3 or 4 times in a row, call them in the afternoon. If they're not answering in the afternoon, call them in the evening after work, after 5. If they're not answering after 5, try them on weekends. Switch your patterns. I've even gone as far as blocking my number, right? So they don't know who it is. Some people are more inclined to answer if they don't know who it is. Some people might not be inclined to answer if they don't know who it is. But the point is, you want to just switch it up. You want to switch your patterns. I've called from different phones. If they're not answering from my cell, I'll try them at the office. Point is, you just want to exhaust all avenues. The people that win the most with online leads are the ones that want it the most. So that can be determined by how much you're willing to fail forward. In other words, how much trial and error you're willing to really attempt to find those pockets of efficiency, what works, to experiment. It's not a set it and forget it approach, as you guys have discovered. Like, I teach you best practices, but at the same time, things work differently in different markets. So it's not a one size fits all, and it shouldn't be a one size fits all, because if it was, the quality wouldn't be the same. So things work differently with different types of people in different markets for different properties, different demographics, etc. So the person that wins is the person that's willing to really experiment, test things, spend some money, and figure out what works, and then just do more of that, right? So this is an iterative process. It's about experimenting, trial and error, figuring out what works. And once you figure out what works, you double down on that. You do more of that. And you start to scale back or eliminate what doesn't work. And then once you have consistency, the first step is to get your ads really pumping and churning and get consistency. Once you get consistency, now it's about mastering your scripts. And it's about your follow-up practices. And it's about your commitment to calling relentlessly. The email drip campaigns are very effective, and they do work, and they keep you top of mind. But you still have to be proactive with the calls. Text messaging does work. I've always preferred the phone, though, personally. Chatbots, text messaging campaigns, email automation, it all works, but nothing's more effective than getting someone on the phone in terms of booking the appointment or booking an orientation tour. So basically, you get the information, you call them, and then your singular goal, once you have them on the phone, is to book an appointment, period. There's a false sense of loyalty when you talk to someone on the phone once, twice, even 5 or 6 times, where you assume that they're going to be loyal and they're going to work with you, even if they're not ready now, but they've expressed that they're going to be looking in 6 months or a year. There's a false sense of loyalty that comes from just talking to someone on the phone. The phone is a step in the right direction, but ultimately, real estate is a face-to-face business, and you have to get in front of these people at the first available opportunity. Now, I've talked to many agents about this, and a common opinion is, why would I get in front of someone now if they're not interested in buying for 6, 9, 12 months? I'm wasting my time. And I couldn't disagree more with that, because the majority of the business that I've done and the success that I've had has been from playing the long game and getting in front of people early so that I can cement that relationship, earn their commitment, show them that I'm really coming from contribution. I want to help them. Now, I'm not going to offer to meet with everyone, 12 months or 6 months before they're looking to buy, but that's when a good script comes into the equation. When you have a good script and you can ask key qualifying questions, the point is to determine whether they're a real buyer or a real seller, or if they're just window shopping, tire kicking, and they have no intention of moving. Because I only want to work with people that legitimately have to move. The last few clients I've helped were either people that had health issues, so they had to move, not moving was not an option, or they were renting for 8 or 9 years and they felt an urgency to get in the market before it got out of reach. So there was an urgency, there was a need to build equity, get into the market, or there was a job transfer happening, or they were retiring. So in other words, there was a necessity for them to move. Other examples have been people that have been going through divorces, having a baby. If someone lives in a 1-bedroom, 600 square foot condo, a couple, and the wife is pregnant, they're moving with or without you. I don't know how many, young families of 3 can live in a 600 square foot 1-bedroom condo. So the point is, you want to find the people that legitimately have to move. Now, obviously, if you only have a couple of leads trickling in, and you're just getting started, or you're new in this business, beggars can't be choosers, and you take what you can get. But the point is, you want to get to a point where you have so many leads coming in to your world that you can pick and choose who's motivated. And when it really gets fun, is not just picking and choosing who's motivated and who has to move, but who do you want to work with? Who resonates with you? I have a rule that I'm only working with people that meet 2 criteria. And this is non-negotiable. The first criteria is they have to move, number 1. Number 2 is I have to be able to share a meal with that person. In other words, I have to feel comfortable with that person. They have to be vibrating on my frequency. They have to be friendly. They have to be reasonable. We have to have some sort of connection. And that was the biggest turning point in my career, was when I raised the bar and set that standard. Because before, I would just take anyone I could get. First few years in my business, I was doing commercial deals in Hamilton. I sold an industrial building, barely knew what I was doing, managed to put it together. I leaned on some colleagues for advice. I was helping my friends with buying their first condo in Vaughan. I was working out in Scarborough. And I was working with a bunch of people that didn't respect me or my time, that were rude, demanding. And I just took what I could get because didn't have enough prospects. I didn't understand the importance of lead generating. I figured, okay, I have 5 leads, I'm good. Then I quickly realized, well, 3 of those 5 might drop off. They might end up changing their mind, deciding not to buy. They might find another agent they'd prefer to work with. That leaves 2. And out of the 2, I might not like either of them, or we may not connect. So now it's an uphill battle. Now it's like pulling teeth to get deals done. Then I made the realization, once I smartened up, that you need probably 4 or 5 times as many leads as you think you need, because of the way the math shakes out, because of the fact that you're only going to connect with so many people. You're only going to find so many really motivated people. So you have to have a lot of leads. And I don't just rely on internet marketing for my lead gen. That's just one pillar. I still do open houses. I have referrals. You know, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, because you need way more leads than you think you do. So the point I'm trying to make is that when you have enough prospects and you have enough irons in the fire, and you have the right questions to ask, tell me about your situation. What's motivating your move? What's prompting your move? What's your timeline? Why is now the right time for you to move? You've been looking on and off for a year and a half. Why is now the right time? Have you made any offers? I want to know, have they made a bunch of offers and they're just not realistic on price? Have you worked with an agent before? What's your experience been? It was negative? Why? Tell me more about that. I want to know what not to do. I want to know how to get on their good side. I want to know how to earn their trust and their business. What happens if you don't find the perfect home in the next 6 months? Is there a plan B? Oh, no, we have to move. There's no plan B. My wife's pregnant. She's due in, January. We've got to get going. Okay. So they have to move. Versus someone that says, "Oh, if we don't find the right home in the next 6 months, we can continue renting for 2 years." Nope, not interested. When there's a plan B, that means they're not really serious. And me, as a business decision, I'm not going to take that client on. So, do you currently own your home? You do. Do you have to sell your home in order to fund the purchase? You do? Okay, great. So then let's talk about selling your home. Or we can go out on an orientation tour just to give you an idea of what's available, but then we'll focus on what your home's worth and how I can help. No, you don't have to sell your home in order to buy. You're looking to leverage the equity? Great. How long have you been there? What did you buy it for? I want to get an idea of their equity. Then I'm going to refer them to my mortgage broker. So the point is, you really want to ask the qualifying questions. And as long as they answer on my terms, yes, I'm motivated. Yes, I need to move. Yes, I have a timeline. Yes, I'm serious. As soon as I know that they're serious, it doesn't matter to me if they're buying in 6 months or a year. My only goal from that point is to get in front of them. Because you have to understand, in 6 months, that could actually mean 3 months. If someone says 6 months, that could mean 3 months. Plans get expedited, things change, right? There's only so many variables people can control. Or if someone says a year, that could actually be 6 months or less. So my goal is to just get in front of them as soon as possible, because the other thing is, you're not the only site that they're signing up on. Generally, people are signing up on multiple agent websites. They're also going to open houses. So even if you've talked to them on the phone, there's not necessarily a commitment there or any loyalty. You think that they're loyal, but they're generally not until you sit down with them. Once you sit down with them, something changes. That's when things shift, because you're looking at them, you're making eye contact, you're having a conversation, and now they feel that you're genuinely helping them, and they feel something called the law of reciprocity kick in, where if you have a meeting with someone, no strings attached, no BRA, or you take someone out on an orientation tour, knowing full well that they're not going to buy for 6 or 12 months, but you're taking them out, spending an hour, showing them a couple of properties. Guys, what I'd love to do, I know you're not looking for at least 6 months. I'd love to take you on a free, no obligation home orientation tour just to educate you on what's available. I realize it's very early. I don't ask you to sign anything. You're not allowed to buy a home. The purpose of this is just to familiarize you with what's available, because properties look much different in person than they do online. Are evenings, date times, or weekends best for you? After we look at some homes. I can buy you a coffee at a nearby Starbucks and we can talk a little bit more about your plans. Or if it's a first-time buyer, I'm generally inviting them in for a consultation because they need hand-holding. They have no idea what they're doing. They're generally hungry for direction. They're hungry for leadership. People are dying to be led. So when you can raise your hand and say, I am an honest real estate agent who wants to help you. You're coming from contribution. You're dismantling any wall that they might have or resistance. And you're saying to them, I don't care if you're not going to be buying a house in 6 months. I'm willing to help you today. I've had so many deals come back to me that way. I can't even tell you. Literally dozens from that exact approach where I've had the long-term approach. I've, come from contribution, offered to help someone, knowing they're not going to do anything for 6, 12 months, but sit down with them, take them out for an hour. I'm not taking them out every week. I'm spending 1 hour with them. Okay. I mean, I'm not overdoing it. I'm still protecting my time. And again, I'm not offering this to everyone. I'm offering this to the people that have proven to me through our conversations that they're motivated and they're serious, right? That's the key. So I'm qualifying them on the phone, but then I'm always looking at the big picture and I'm just planting seeds. I'm planting seeds every day, all the time. I'm offering to help. I'm coming from contribution, and then I'm just watering those seeds. I'm staying in touch with people passively. I'm not calling them on a regular basis. I'm checking in depending on our conversation. When I'm done a conversation with an online lead, the first thing I say, or the last thing I say is, great, when would you like to hear from me next? And if they say 3 months, I'll usually call them in 2 months. If they say 6 months, I'll call them in 4 months. Because again, life happens, things change, people's timelines change. So you always want to end every conversation with what's going to happen next. There always needs to be a continuation, like a TV show, like a Netflix show. There always has to be a bridge to the next point of contact. Because the bridge to the next point of contact creates that continuation where there's always going to be a next conversation, a next meeting, a next point of reference. Never wait for people to call you. Always take the lead. Be the leaders that they expect and that they need. They need leadership. People are dying to be led. Remember that. So I hope that helps. So John's saying, the challenge I find, very few people answer the call. Again, switch your patterns, John. If they don't answer in the morning, try afternoon. If they don't answer in the afternoon, try evenings. If they don't answer evenings, try weekends, Sunday mornings, Saturday late afternoon. Switch it up. Some people just won't answer the call, right? I get it. But it's all about the numbers. It's a numbers game. So you have to have enough leads in the pipeline that you're not focusing on the people that don't answer. You're focusing on the people that do answer. And a lot of them will answer. And for the people that don't answer, I mean, you can still text, you can email them, but the people that leave a working phone number are a lot easier to connect with. So when you have enough leads in the pipeline, you're naturally going to have enough legitimate phone numbers. You're going to have enough motivated people. You're going to have enough people that you connect with. And that might mean 20 leads for some people. It might mean 50 leads for others. It might mean 100 for some. The point is, figure out what your standard is going to be. Who are you willing to take on as a client? And that's going to be different for everyone, depending on your goals, where you are in your career. Figure out what your standard is, and then have a process where people have to hit that standard. And if not enough people are hitting that standard, you can either loosen your standards or you can increase your leads. But when you have enough leads, this business gets a lot easier because there's less uphill battles. I'm telling you guys, leads cure all. If you have enough leads, the business becomes a lot smoother. There's less friction. Deals happen easier, more frequently. and you work with people that you genuinely like to work with. And then when you work with people you genuinely like to work with, you're going to attract more of the same people because people refer people like them. So if you're working with people that you enjoy working with, that you're connecting with, that are reasonable and motivated, if you really take care of them, then you're going to start attracting more people like them because they're going to talk about their experience with other people, and people generally associate with like-minded people. So then it just creates this organic kind of cycle where you're working with good people. The more good people you work with more great people, then you have this awesome business, and you can really create that. It all starts with having enough in the pipeline. So Fatma's asking, do you find that the video campaigns make it easier for them to talk to you when you call them? Yes, absolutely, Fatma. When you send, just think about it this way. It's very simple. If you're texting people or if you're sending them written emails, it's a step in the right direction. But when you send someone a video, you're connecting with them from a distance. You're showcasing your true self. You're putting a face to the name. You're using body language to communicate, right? I think it's something like 85% or something is 85% of communication is nonverbal or something, or even 90%. It's really high. So you're using body language, you're using tonality to communicate your value, your personality, who you are, how you can help them. It's extremely powerful. Everything is going towards video these days. Video ads, video marketing, Instagram stories, more and more just generic posts on social media are video. So video is really becoming king online. So the more you can incorporate it, the more effective and the better your results will be. And then with video, to your other point, if you're having a hard time connecting with people, if people aren't answering your calls, they're not picking up, when you call them, or they're not responding to your emails, once they start seeing your videos, they're going to be more inclined to answer because now they feel like, oh, you know what? She seems really nice. She's professional. I like the way she's presenting herself. She seems honest and someone with integrity. She knows her market. Yeah, so you know what? I think I'd like to chat with her. This all happens subconsciously, but it happens and it's very powerful. So use video as much and in as many vehicles and mediums as possible. Hey, Mike, how are you? Yes, John, all of these recordings are posted. So John's asking, will you share this recording with those who attended? Every single live stream gets automatically recorded and posted to the group. So you can go back and find all the other ones I've done. And that's available to people that have attended and those that haven't as well. So Fatma's asking, how long would you keep trying to call the lead who doesn't respond before deleting them from your database? The only time I delete people from my database is if they're not opening emails. So even if I don't have a phone number for someone, as long as they're viewing the emails, I'm not going to delete them because what's there to lose? Like, there's no downside in keeping them in your database. The only downside, I guess, would be, most databases will charge you more once you have a certain amount of people. So, depending on your limit and what your budget is. But other than that, I generally keep everyone in my database as long as they're at least viewing the emails, whether it's like the drip emails, checking in, saying, hey, just wondering what you're thinking of these listings, what are your plans to move, when are you looking to relocate, or if it's just the regular daily update listings, as long as they're viewing them, I'm keeping them in because sometimes they'll surprise you, they'll ask to book a showing, they'll inquire about a specific listing. So Robin's saying, by the way, for anyone interested, Dubb, D-U-B-B, is like bomb bomb but for a limited time, available for one-time lifetime payment, no monthly fee. And Robin's got a referral link. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing, Robin. So Robin is saying, do you have a suggested video drip sequence that we can use? I have been trying to use it to appear as a real person as early in the process as possible. Even if I can't reach them or they don't respond to phone calls or texts, I try to become as real to them as possible using dub like BombBomb. Yeah, I have my, I think I show like 4 or 5 of my video automation emails in the email automation section of the course. So the last section of the course, I go through specific examples and you can just model what I say. But basically what I do is when you signed up for the course, you received my email template for all the automated emails. There's about 27 of them. And basically what I do is I just use the same script, like the same wording, but in a video format. So the only difference is I'm not addressing them by name, obviously, because I want to automate it. So it'll just be, hi, thanks for registering at findmetorontohome.com. My name's Jason Weinberger. I specialize in working with buyers. It's great that you're thinking about buying a home in Toronto. How exciting. I'll be staying in touch with you just to check in and see how you're finding the listings, to make any adjustments, and to help you along in your journey. I hope you're having a great day. Look forward to connecting soon. And then the next one will be, after that, I've set them up to receive listings depending on the campaign they responded to. So if they responded to a King West condo campaign, I'm sending them King West condo listings. If they responded to an Etobicoke Homes campaign, I'm sending them Etobicoke Homes. So then the next day, they'll receive a second video that says, hi, it's Jason from Find Me a Toronto Home. Just wanted to check in. I was wondering how you were finding the listings I've been sending you. If you want me to make any changes, just let me know. Just reply to this email and I'd be happy to make any changes or adjustments. Look forward to chatting with you soon. Right? So you're just modeling the same wording, but in a video. So I give you a blueprint for that. And it's just basically like, you know, logical check-in points. Like, so you might be getting a little bit overwhelmed with what's happening in the news lately. There's a lot of talk about the market. And what I'd love to do is just kind of give you a roadmap and give you my take as a full-time realtor and someone on the front lines. So if you'd like to chat with me, I'd love to connect with you on the phone. Is there a convenient time we can schedule a phone call? So you see what I'm doing? I'm ending each video with an open-ended question. You know, how can I change your search criteria? When can we schedule a phone call so I can help you? So just like writing your ad, you're creating value, right? You're offering to help them, and then you're giving them a call to action, right? So here's how I can help, and here's what to do next to get that help. Do you see how there's a formula here, right? This is what I can do to help you find the home of your dreams. These are the steps that we can take together. And to learn more, just reply to this email or schedule a phone call with me here, and then you can use something called Calendly, which is amazing. Calendly is a scheduling tool for phone calls. So basically, it connects to your calendar. Like you can sync it with Outlook and your Google Calendar. And then it basically gives people an opportunity to just plug in the date and time that they want. And it just auto updates with your own personal calendar. So it's awesome. I use that more and more. I've started using it a lot more lately. So like just a couple examples, things like that, right? But it's very effective and I definitely encourage you to use it. So Fatma's asking, so they'll receive a video and automated video with the same script. So Fatma, if you go to my email marketing section in the course, it's the last section of the online course, I talk about how you can build an automated email campaign, but instead of the emails in text form, they're actually little videos. So basically, you build it so that it gets sent out at specific times. So the first one gets sent out when somebody signs up. And the beauty of this is you can build it so that everyone's timeline is different. You're not scheduling them. Like you can schedule for like holidays. So let's say you want to do like a Mother's Day campaign, uh, Canada Day, Christmas, Easter, New Year's. You can schedule those to just wish people happy holidays, happy Mother's Day, or on people's birthdays, for example, or let's say on their home anniversary day. So the anniversary day of when they bought, just, hi, I just wanted to congratulate you. It's been 1 year since you bought your home. I hope you're enjoying it, right? You can do that. But what you can also do is you schedule it depending on when someone signs up because people are registering at different times and different dates, right? So basically, the first one goes out immediately when somebody signs up, a new lead registers. Then the next one goes out 1 day after they register. So if somebody registers on Monday, they'll get an email on Monday, welcoming them. The initial video is a welcome, and then they'll get a follow-up on Tuesday. And if somebody signs up on Wednesday, they'll get their welcome email video on Wednesday, and then they'll get the follow-up on Thursday. So it depends on when someone signs up. So you do immediately upon registering, and then you do 24 hours later, and then you can do 48 hours later or 2 days after, and then 4 days, and then 8, and then 15. So you can build a schedule, and I show you exactly how to do that in the course so that it automatically goes when someone signs up. And these are, again, they're reusable videos because they're generic enough that you can use them for literally dozens or hundreds of people because the messaging is the same. Just wanted to check in, wondering how your search is going. What was your timeline again? When are you looking to be moved into your new home? Just wanted to get your feedback on the listings. What do you think? Is this your first time buying? Let me know. I've got some time in my schedule next week. One of the things that I find is really helpful is to really educate people on current market conditions. So why don't we schedule a phone call for about 15 minutes so I can just bring you up to date on what's happening in the Toronto market. Here's the link. Schedule your call below. So do you see what I'm doing? I'm giving little tidbits of value, but I'm automating them in a way that they can be sent out to a huge group of people. So I give you the foundation and some ideas of content, and I show you how to actually build the campaign. And then Agent Locator can help you with the specific trigger points, like what page do they have to sign up on in order for this to get activated. But I give you like basically the roadmap, and then Agent Locator can just help fill in some of the blanks with the logistic aspects of launching it. Very good refresher. Thanks, John. Do I stop the email campaigns then and just use the videos, or both go out? So basically, it's good to mix it up. Like you can have one campaign where you alternate. So let's say, because it's not easy to do 27 videos, let's say, or 30 videos or whatever, but you can do like the first 2 emails are video. So you really like make that strong first impression. And then you can do the next video being emails, like just text email. Then you can do another video and just alternate, right? And then you can switch it up and have another one being text messaging. So you can automate text emails, text messages, and video emails all in one campaign. Plus, you're sending them listings as well. So think about it. They're getting just value, right? They're getting listings. They're seeing your face. They're seeing your videos. They're getting short, punchy, valuable text emails, text messages, and don't forget, you're still trying to call them the whole time. So again, don't let this stuff replace the phone. This complements the phone. It's not meant to replace the phone. Obviously, if someone's not answering their phone and you've tried relentlessly, this is the next best thing. But this is going on in the background, so that hopefully when you keep calling them, eventually they'll answer. Or sometimes they won't even answer, but they'll just respond to a text message and you can just book a meeting. Like I've booked meetings without even talking to people on the phone. It's like they see me, they get familiar with me, they like what I'm offering, and then, I'm just basically converting them to an appointment through email or through text messaging. But remember, the whole point is to book an appointment, right? As soon as you possibly can. Hope that helps. Because the whole thing, guys, is the relationship. And relationships start online, and then they go from online to emailing, and then they might go from emailing to a phone call. But ultimately, you want to be across the table from them, or you want to be showing them homes on an orientation tour, right? Face to face is where the relationship really gets solidified. It's not where it starts, unless you're doing an open house or door knocking. But online, the relationship starts digitally, but you want to always focus on transitioning it into an appointment. I can't stress that enough because I learned the hard way from not going for the appointment, spending so much time, gathering comparables, doing research, talking to people for hours and hours and hours, and assuming that in 6 months, when they said they were ready, they were going to work with me. And then what happens? I call them 4 or 5 months later to check in. Hey, just wondering where you're at. I'd love to take you out. And they're like, oh, you know what, Jason? We meant to call you, but we walked into an open house and the realtor was really nice and he offered to take us out and show us a few properties, and we just ended up buying one. We fell in love with something we weren't expecting to buy, and we made an offer and it worked out. But thank you for all your help. We really appreciate it. They're always so appreciative. I've made that mistake dozens of times, when I was less experienced, and I learned the hard way. So now I'm always very intentional for years now about the appointment, getting in front of them, orientation tour, whatever it is, no risk, remove any kind of risk, no obligation, and the results are night and day. Fatma says, yep, I can relate. Yeah, I mean, it's just the way it is. You got to learn the hard way. But if I can expedite some of your, success and just kind of shortcut the trajectory and the learning curve, like that's a big part of it. Like generating the lead, that's where it starts. But there's a whole lot of, processing that has to happen on the other end, like things you have to do, things you have to be intentional about, really being on top of the follow-up, on top of the engagement, providing value. Who else? Does anyone else have any questions? What else are you guys struggling with? What are you challenged with? Are there any gaps that I can help you fill? Is there something that isn't clear from the course that you want clarity on? Now's your chance, guys. It's a great opportunity. The floor is yours. Take advantage of this. Thanks, Fatma. I'm glad. Good to hear. I guess the other thing I'll mention is just to really, crawl before you walk and walk before you run. There's a tendency to be anxious with this stuff. Obviously, we all want results quickly, and many of you are getting results quickly, which is amazing. Like Fatma, within 6 weeks, you're already picking up buyers, which is incredible, by the way. Congratulations. I want to acknowledge you for that. That's pretty amazing, especially since you mentioned you weren't tech savvy at all when you took the course. So that's amazing. But you just want to focus on like understanding this before you start to really jump ahead and spend a bunch of money. The course talks a lot about the methodology. Most of it is tactile and hands-on, but don't gloss over the introduction. If you're still confused about how things work, go back to the introduction, watch the section on the fundamentals. The fundamentals is your foundation. And if you don't have a strong foundation, your house is going to cave in. So you want to make sure that you understand the importance of a properly designed landing page, how less is more, the psychology behind it, leaving people wanting more, giving them tidbits and teasers, but not giving away the farm. You need to really understand why this is important, right? And then you want to understand, different types of Facebook campaigns. The lead gen campaign type where there's no landing page. People just register within the Facebook form versus the traffic campaign where you send them to a landing page. The pros and cons of each, why you would want to use one over the other. Think about what is your end goal? What are you trying to achieve? Are you trying to generate random leads across a large area, or are you hyper niche and specialized? Are you just going after pre-construction? Are you farming a neighborhood? Are you trying to attract first-time buyers, move-up buyers? You need to think about your avatar. In other words, who are you going after? Who is your ideal client? Because once you think about all of that, now you just fill in the blanks. But you need to know where you're going, right? If you don't know where you're going first, any road will get you there. So you need to have a solid plan. You need to understand the fundamentals, what makes this stuff work, how the pieces connect, why keywords are everything with Google Ads. That's where you should focus. 80% of your effort is on the keyword research, the keyword bidding, broad match, phrase match, exact match, before you even think about creating an ad. If you invest the time into learning the fundamentals, I promise you, the learning curve will be a lot faster and your results will be a lot bigger. So build a strong foundation, really learn this stuff, watch the videos, rewatch them if you have to, and don't try and do too much at once. I don't recommend simultaneously running Facebook and Google until you've mastered them. Start with one, whichever one resonates with you, whichever one you feel more comfortable with. Start with one, focus on that, get very comfortable, get results, and don't just get sporadic results. Make sure you're getting consistent results. And then at that point, once you're getting consistent results and you're having good conversations, you're landing clients, you're doing deals, then you should think about reinvesting, increasing your budget, growing, scaling, and then taking on a secondary pillar. So if you've started with Facebook, you're getting results, you're doing deals, then you can look at Google. If you started with Google, get results first, then look at Facebook. So that's just some best practices. And guys, the course is really meant to really drill these concepts in. It's a lot of repetition in there, but that's not a coincidence. I repeat a lot of the really important things so that it really drills into you, so you really grasp it, you understand the importance of it. So give yourself time. And, practice makes perfect. I mean, it really is a process, but it's incredibly rewarding once it starts to happen. Because once it starts to happen, it can happen quickly. Like you have one lead today, you have two leads tomorrow, and next thing you know, you've got two or three leads a day, every day. And think about what your business will look like. If you can start generating 2 to 3 leads a day, I know some of you are already doing that, which is amazing. Once you start to generate 2 or 3 leads a day, that accumulates fast. And you're going to start having some great conversations with motivated people. You're going to start to get a lot of opportunity thrown your way. And now you control your destiny, which is a really awesome feeling in business. To not have to cold call or door knock or do the things that I personally didn't enjoy doing. I know some of you are really great at cold calling and door knocking. Me personally, one of my biggest motivators for pursuing this and really mastering it was to escape doing what I didn't like doing. I don't mind open houses and I still do them, but that wasn't enough. I needed something else. And I didn't like door knocking or cold calling. So I did something that I enjoyed doing and that I could do at a high level. So it's probably the best investment I've ever made in my career is learning this stuff and applying it and having it really work for me. Do you guys have any other questions? Anything else I can help you with? Any success stories you want to share? That's valuable too, to encourage others in the community. It's great when people talk about their results and their success, whether that's I just generated my first lead, or I've just generated my 20th lead, or I just wrote my first deal, or I just created my first landing page, or I just finished the first section of the course, whatever it is, big or small, it's always nice to celebrate your wins. How are you guys finding these live streams? What's the feedback? Is there anything I can do differently? Is this valuable? Is this benefiting you guys? Give me some feedback. Would love to hear your thoughts. Anybody else have any questions or any other things you want help with or feedback on? So John's asking, what tool or CRM do you use to keep track of all the calls, texts? I use Agent Locator for everything, John. I just make detailed notes. I set task reminders for myself. Um, I categorize the leads based on um, hot, warm, cold. And I also categorize them based on their time frame. So is it 0 to 3 months, 3 to 6 months, 6 to 9, 12 plus? So I do everything through Agent Locator, and it's worked really well for me. Fatma says, I think webinar style would be better. How do you mean webinar style, Fatma, versus live stream? Because a live webinar is basically the same thing. This is very similar where you have a live video feed and then you have comments. How do you mean? Can you guys elaborate on that? So I'm actually planning a webinar in the near future where I'm going to be doing some live training, Most of it is already in the course, but if you guys are interested in that, I will definitely keep you updated and in the loop. I'm not sure when it's going to be exactly, possibly in June. It's going to be geared mostly for people that are new to the program, but I can definitely keep you guys uh, updated on when it's going to be. And if you want to join, you're more than welcome to. Okay, awesome. So I'll definitely keep you guys posted on that. It's a lot of opportunity out there, guys. I was reading recently that from the National Association of Realtors, NAR, 50% of buyers uh, start their search online, like compared to people that attend open houses or through referrals or flyers. 50%, which is pretty high. And that's collectively across every age group, every state, for the entire country. Now, that's for the US, but I assume the numbers are pretty consistent in Canada. They may even be higher because I've heard that Canada has the highest per capita of users on Facebook worldwide, which is pretty amazing. Just to give you an idea of the opportunity, like it's really endless. It's just how much do you want to turn on the tap? Like once you figure this out and you're comfortable investing the money, there's not much of a ceiling. You can really scale it. My pleasure, John. Thanks for attending. Thanks for your support. All right, guys. Well, it's just a couple of minutes until 1 o'clock. Are there any last minute questions? We have a higher level of education in Canada, John says. You know, the internet's a big place. And it's really just, it's there for the taking, guys. So keep doing what you're doing, stay the course, study the material. Don't be afraid to experiment. Don't be afraid to spend some money for trial and error to figure out what works, what doesn't. This is an iterative process. Think of yourselves as realtor slash scientists where you're in the lab, you're testing things, you're applying what I'm teaching, plus sprinkling in your own creativity, personalize it, making it yours to find what works. And once you find what works, the great thing is it's pretty consistent. Once you find a winning formula, once you find an ad that's effective, once you find keywords that people are receptive to, once you find a good introductory phone call script, these things really tend to hold up. They're consistent. That's what makes it very exciting. That's why it's scalable. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. I hope this was helpful. And I'll keep you posted on when the webinar will be. And I will see everyone at the next live stream next month. I'll release the dates as we get closer. I usually announce it about 5 or 6 days prior to the live stream. And so far it's been on a Monday. I think that's a pretty good day. Generally early in the week when there's momentum and people are kind of fired up for, smashing their business goals. So thanks, guys. Have a great week, and we'll chat soon.